Hello everybody. How are you? I'm Christian, and this is another live English class. Um, I hope that you are all well. I hope that you are all happy, and you're having a good Tuesday, a beautiful Tuesday. I am here to answer any of your questions about English, about vocabulary, pronunciation, any questions you have that you want to ask me. I'm here. Um, so. Let's start with a little game. This game is called taboo. Taboo is when I have to describe a word, okay? I have to describe a word without using other words, without using specific words, okay? So let's see if you can guess the word I'm describing, okay? So, okay. Let me look for a word. Okay. So the first word, this is a type of food. Okay, it's a type of food. It is very popular in America. It's the typical food in America that you imagine. Um, it's it is bread and lettuce and tomato and cheese. Okay, with bread. Um, it's very typical to eat this with chips, with potato chips. Does anybody know what this word is? It's easy. Okay, that's the first word. Now the second word. Okay. This is a place. Okay, it's a place. It's very, very cold in this place. And it is where Santa Claus lives. Santa Claus lives in this place. It's where he has his house, where he makes all the presents with his elves. Um, any ideas? Any ideas? um, so yes, the answer to the first one is, of course, burger, hamburger. Very good, very good. Um, okay. Finland? No, not Finland. It's yes, exactly. North Pole. Very good. North Pole. Fantastic. Okay, third one. This is a type of transport. Okay, a type of transport that it can carry a lot of people. A lot of people. Um, and this transport is very different because it can only go in a specific place. Okay? It can't turn left or turn right or go here or go there. It can only go in a specific place. And it's very big and very heavy. And it has wheels. It has wheels. Any ideas what this could be? Yes, a train. Very good. A train. Very good. So a game like this, Taboo, is a fantastic game that you can play. You can play with your friends. Even you can play it with yourself. It it helps you to learn to explain something in a different way, which is important if you're traveling and you don't know the name for something. Like, for example, how would you describe love? I'm very curious. Tell me, how would you describe love? Okay, so let me have a look at some of your questions. Um, so the first question is from Nandish, which is, do I watch WWE? Right. WWE is wrestling. No. Wrestling like the famous wrestlers like Hulk Hogan and The Rock, big strong men fighting and jumping and no, I don't watch this because now maybe you will think this is a little bit strange, but I don't have a television. I only watch programs on the internet, on YouTube, or I watch films, but I don't have a television, so I don't really watch programs like this. I'm more interested in other things. Normally, I watch programs about English. I am a little bit of a nerd. Marianne from Poland. Hello, Marianne. She has a question about the construction I would rather. Okay. So, I'd rather is a very interesting construction. And we know that rather is a synonym for prefer. Okay? And this is an interesting construction because we can only use it with I would. Okay? For example, you can say, I would rather go to the cinema. Go to the cinema. I'd rather go to the cinema. But you cannot say, I rather go to the cinema. Because if you use rather without the conditional would, then it transforms into something different. It transforms from prefer to the meaning of quite. Or very. So if you say, I quite go to the cinema, or I very go to the cinema, it doesn't make sense. But you could say, I rather like pizza. Yes, this is perfect. I quite like pizza. I very much like pizza. So it's a strange construction because we can only use it with a conditional. Okay? Hopefully that answers your question. Okay? And because we have to use this together, then then here we are going to use our infinitives. I'd rather go to the cinema, I'd rather eat. But yes, your question is, what other tenses can we use? Okay, what if you want to use this in the future? Okay. You want to say, tomorrow I'd rather go to the cinema. But remember that here, this is the modal verb would. Okay? Would is a modal that indicates something which is not real, okay? It indicates something you are imagining. I would rather go to the cinema. And we know because we are very good students, we know that modals don't have conjugations. So, if you want to use this in the future, then you must indicate the future. I'd rather go to the cinema tomorrow. Perfect. But what if you want to use it in the past? Then, similar to all of the other modal verbs, similar to could, should, would, must, if you want to use this in the past, we have to add have. I would have rather gone. Because we are good students, you are good students, we know that to use a modal in the past, we use present perfect. I would have rather gone. And also, because we are good students, we know that we can only use modal verbs in these ways, by indicating the time, the future, okay, or in the past, but in the present continuous doesn't exist. Past perfect doesn't exist. Future continuous doesn't exist. We have very limited options with modal verbs. We must indicate the time or use present perfect. Hopefully that answers your question, Marianne. Lewis, hi Lewis, how are you? He wants to know what's the difference between so and such. Great question, very easy to answer as well, very easy to understand. Okay? I have a problem with my chalk again. God damn it. Okay. So here are two examples, okay? I am so hungry. So here, what is so? What is the purpose of so? What is so doing? What is the job of so? So is here to intensify the adjective. I'm so hungry. We're using it to intensify the adjective. I'm so hungry. You are so beautiful. I am so intelligent. Okay? It's to intensify our adjective. He is such hungry. No, this is not correct. Okay? Such is different. Such we use to intensify nouns. So hungry is not a noun. But we could transform this into a noun. We could say, such a hungry person. So now we are not intensifying our adjective, we're intensifying the noun, okay? Such a hungry person, okay? So basically the difference is that so with adjectives and such with nouns. That's the simple rule, okay? Hopefully that answers your question. Nandish says that he has been playing cricket and that he's very tired. Do you know about the sport cricket? All of you? Have you played cricket before? Or have you seen cricket? I think outside of the colonial countries, England, India, Pakistan, Australia, cricket is not very popular, not very famous. But in some countries, it is. It's not a sport; it's a religion. And cricketers, people who play cricket, are famous like superstars, like Hollywood superstars. Maybe now is an opportunity for me to tell you a little bit about English culture, because when you're learning a language, it's also very important to understand about English culture. And if there's one thing that characterizes English culture, it is the idea, the concept of fairness. Fairness. Fairness it means that things need to be fair. Things need to be equal. Things need to be just. We cannot have a situation where things are unfair. And that's why English culture, English people, are obsessed with rules, because fairness and rules go together, okay? So, if you look at the history of a majority of sports that are played in England, for example, cricket, tennis, chess, what other sports? Golf, okay? A lot of these sports, well, all of these sports were invented outside of England. They were invented in other countries, okay? But the English people, they invented the rules for these games because it's very important in English culture to follow the rules and to be fair. So, for example, if you have a queue of people waiting to buy something, the biggest crime, the worst possible thing that you can do is to push in. Push in means to enter the queue without waiting. Okay, you go in the front of the queue. You can say push in, cut in, jump in. Okay, if you do this, this is a cultural crime in England, because it's not fair. It doesn't follow the rules. The rules are you make a line and you wait. And that's, why in the English language we have so much vocabulary and constructions related to being nice, saying thank you, saying please. And it's related to the idea of fairness and rules. It's not meaningful. If I say thank you 20 times, it doesn't mean that I am more thankful, but I'm following the rules of the English culture. Okay. Okay, so Jan has a question about pronunciation. About the pronunciation of two words. So let's have a look. Hello Coco, hello Jandri, and hello Victoria. And hello Ram. Okay. One second. Okay, so here we have two very different O's. Okay, the big difference is the O. So the first one, okay, is like ah. It's very similar to the letter A, okay? So you can see we have the mouth open, okay? It's like if you go to the doctor and you say, okay, but it's short, okay? It's a single sound and it's short. Month. And it's very important at the end, okay? I want to see your tongue. If I don't see your tongue, you're not pronouncing it correctly. Month. Okay? Now this one here, this O is totally different. And this is a diphthong. We have two sounds. We have a movement. So the pronunciation is exactly like the letter in the alphabet, the letter O. So you can see the movement when I pronounce the letter O, okay? O. So we start with the mouth open, okay? Relaxed, my jaw's relaxed, like this, okay? And then we move the lips forward and together. Oh. And you watch they come forward, look. Oh. So it's very important to have this movement, okay? So it's clothes. Now, yes, here as well, this is very difficult, okay? Because we have these two sounds are together, okay? It's not clothes, okay? Or clothes. No, it's TH and S together, okay? So we have to make a very quick transition. Clothes. So we are sticking here, we have the tongue out, and then here we have to directly bring in the tongue to make the s. Clothes. Okay? Now, the next level of difficulty is that here we have the voice activated, okay? This is in month, okay? It is unvoiced, okay? So we have tongue out and air. Month, okay? But here we have tongue out and voice. Okay? So it's clothes. Okay? So in this word, the voice is activated, the whole word. Clothes. Okay? But in reality, if you activate your voice or don't activate your voice, I will understand you the same. Okay? So this is for when you have a very high level of English. If you say clothes, I understand you, no problems. Okay? The important thing, the thing which can cause problem with understanding, is the a and the o. The voiced, unvoiced, don't worry too much, okay? It's ideal pronunciation, but not 100% necessary. Hopefully that answers your question. Okay. Okay. Let's have a look. Hello, Oleg, and Barbaros, and Carmelo. Okay. So Carmelo has a question about phrasal verbs, about a specific phrasal verb, which is to figure out. Okay. So, to figure out means to calculate something. To solve something. Okay? So you can figure out a problem. Okay? You can figure out a solution. And also, you can figure out a person. Because sometimes a person is complicated. A person is like a mathematical problem. You have to figure them out, right? So you can use this for people, for problems, etc. And you know that figure out is a phrasal verb. So the question is, where do we put the object? Because imagine we want to say to figure out things. Okay. With a phrasal verb, I have some options. I could put the object in the middle, or I could put the object at the end. But which one is correct? How do I know whether I put it in the middle or at the end? This is the problem, okay? Because with phrasal verbs in English, there is no rule. You have to memorize the phrasal verb, and you also have to memorize where you can put the object. Is it in the middle, or in the middle and at the end, or only in the middle or only at the end? Okay? But there is a general rule which will help you. Okay? And because it's a general rule, it's only correct 90% of the time. And for me, that's fine. Okay? Now, the rule is, if it is a pronoun, for example, him or it, etc. If it is a pronoun, it should always go in the middle. Okay? So to figure out him, no. Or to figure out it, no. Pronouns in the middle, always. Okay? But if it is a normal noun, then you can put it in the middle or at the end. So for example, things, good. So to figure things out or to figure out things. Okay? Now, so what is the simple rule? Okay? The rule is that all 99% of phrasal verbs take the object at the end. Okay? So, if you want to be 100% correct, you should put your object at the end of the phrasal verb. Finished. Easy. So figure out things, figure out him, him no. I'm going crazy. Here, this is, you can put your object here at the end and you will almost always be correct. Okay? No problems. But I want to say two things, okay? Is that the first thing is that if you are speaking, okay, if you're speaking, the most common place to put the object is not at the end. It's in the middle, okay? When native speakers talk, a majority of the time they put the object in the middle, okay? Even children, when children are learning to speak, they put the object in the middle, okay? And there are lots of reasons for this, okay? But I want to say that if you put the object at the end, it doesn't always sound natural, okay? Sometimes we prefer to put the object in the middle, okay? But when you are writing, we prefer the object at the end, okay? At the end. So, my rule is, my simple rule for phrasal verbs, because phrasal verbs are difficult, is if you have a pronoun, put it in the middle. If you're speaking, put it in the middle. And if you're writing, put it at the end. And if you're not sure, put it at the end. That is my rule. Now, you will not always be correct, okay? Because some phrasal verbs, you cannot put the object in the middle. But this is something that you will absorb with time. It's something you will learn with time, okay? So, and I know it's difficult, I'm sorry. Okay, hello Francesca, hello Anderson. I'm glad you like the game Taboo, it's a good game. Okay. So, Tahir has an interesting question, which is, what's the difference between accent and pronunciation? Wow. Your accent is an indicator of lots of things. Your accent can indicate the country you're from. It can indicate your social status, okay? And it can indicate other things like, is English your first language or your second language? This is your accent. It is the way in which you pronounce all of the words in the language, okay? But your pronunciation is more specific. It's talking about the exact sounds, okay? So your accent is the big picture, and your pronunciation is part of your accent, okay? Hopefully that answers your question. Okay, so Rashid wants to know the difference between asking, do you have, or have you got? So again, this is the difference. This is the difference between the two verbs in English, have and have got, okay? Now, I made a class about this because have and have got are totally different. So, have a search on YouTube, okay, and you will find my class about have and have got, or you can look at anybody's class about have and have got. But really, there's no difference, okay? It's a difference in conjugation. That's all. Okay, so Ujin wants to know, how can I improve my reading? How can I understand text? Well, there is no shortcut. There's no magic solution, okay? If you want to understand more, you have to read more, okay? Reading is about vocabulary because there's no pronunciation, okay? Reading is vocabulary, so if you want to be better at reading, read more. That's it, simple. It's like, how do I run faster? Run more. How do I become stronger? Exercise more, okay? It's the same. Exercising the brain, exercising your muscles, the same thing. Okay. Okay, so Giandri has a question about which verb do you use when you're talking about an English class? Because in Spanish they say basically that I am giving English. Okay, I'm giving English, but I can't give English. I can give an English class, but I can't give you a language. So yes, I can give you a class, or I can teach you a class, but I can't give you an English, okay? Okay, so let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. I'm reading. I'm very behind in your comments. I'm really sorry. I'm looking at your comments from my game at the beginning. Now I want to read some of your explanations, your definitions of the word love. How would you describe love? Oleg said that love is the biggest illness. That's great. Love is an illness. Okay. Love makes you feel happy and a little bit stupid. Okay. Happy and stupid. Okay. What else? Love is strong, positive feelings. Wow. Strong positive feelings. Barbaros, yes, it's a strong feeling from our heart. Strong feeling from your heart. Wow. Wow. So I think that if we look at the definitions of love, it seems that love can be good and bad, right? Like sometimes love makes us feel happy. It makes us feel really happy and positive, but sometimes, yes, it love can cause pain. And love it's like an illness, it can make you sick. Yes, and of course we have lots of vocabulary in English for the sensation of love when love is bad. For example, You can be lovesick when when basically you you love something or someone so much that it makes you sick. You're lovesick. Or yes, heartbroken. When your heart is yes. And if this happens to you, okay, you can remember a very common English idiom, which is time heals all wounds. Heal is like to fix, to cure, and a wound is like damage, like when you cut yourself or when you break something, you have a wound, okay? You are damaged, you are broken. And time will fix, time will heal these wounds. Do you agree? I don't know. I think some wounds, yes, but maybe others will never be fixed. Okay. Okay, so let's have a look at some more questions. Hello, Jessica. Jessica Patterson. Very English name. You're an Australian in Spain too. Hello. Welcome to Spain. I live in the north of Spain, and here in the north of Spain, it's not the typical Spain. You know, here there's no sangria and flamenco, and no, here it's bagpipes and rain. Okay. Okay. Anderson Francholino would like me to talk about the third conditional. So, do you know about the third conditional? Like, when do we use the third conditional? What is it for? That's the first question, the most important question. The second and the third conditional, they are very similar. They are partners. But why? The reason is because the second and third conditional talk about things that are imaginary. Okay? Things that are not real, not probable. Okay? But the difference between the second and third is that the second is things that we imagine now, but the third conditional are things that we imagine in the past. So we use this to talk about things that we want to change in the past, things we wished we could change, or maybe things that we regret. Yeah, okay. Past. And the construction is probably the most complicated construction in English. So it's not too difficult. So it's if and past perfect. So if past perfect and then would have, okay? Now remember, with all conditionals, that we can move the order. So we could put would have at the beginning, or we can put would have at the end. But we cannot separate if and past perfect. We cannot have if, would have, no. If, past perfect, and would have. Okay, this is very important. So, for example, if I had studied, I would have passed the exam. Okay, this is third conditional. Something in the past that didn't happen. I didn't study for my exam, so I didn't pass. I can't go back in time and change it, but I wish I could. I regret not studying. Okay? And also remember that the third conditional, the same as all of the other conditionals, is that here, in the second part of the conditional, in the apodosis, we can substitute for any modal verb. So here, instead of would have, I could put could, or should, or might, etc., etc. I can substitute for any modal verb, and it's still the third conditional, okay? So hopefully that explains the third conditional in a very fast way, okay? Okay, so yes. So sorry, I'm reading questions. I'm not going crazy meditating. So yes, Nabil or Nabil 007. You are Nabil. Are you James Bond? Are you are you Bond? Nabil Bond. He wants to know about a particular construction. I'm going to write it on the board, okay? Which is in. Okay, so yes, Nabil wants to know what is the difference between I did make a video and I made a video, because they're both correct. Grammatically, they're both correct. In the first one, we are using an auxiliary to indicate the past. Okay, past. And then we have the infinitive. But in the second one, we are conjugating the verb directly for the past. And here, there's no auxiliary. It's not necessary. Okay? But they're both correct. So yes, the difference is that when we use our did, we are using it for emphasis. Okay? We are adding this extra word to give extra emphasis to our sentence. So imagine if I say to you, you didn't make a video. You're lying. You're not telling the truth. You didn't make a video. And you say, yes, I did make a video. Emphasis. Okay? It's more emphasis than I made a video. It's okay? Hopefully that answers your question. So again, yes, another person asking, how can I improve my reading? Read more. Okay? Simple, read more. Try and read things that you're interested in. Don't read your English textbook, okay? Take your English textbook and put it in the bin. And go and get a book, a good book that has a good story and good characters. Okay, this is a book you should be reading. Not some invented text about people that you don't care about. in some Cambridge workbook, okay? Get a real book. Okay. Wow, so Coco has a very deep answer about love. Love is a human feeling. When you want to try and give the subject of your love only good things, to say only good words, to be safe and to be together with that person. Wow, Coco, that is beautiful. And I think a great definition of love, really. Yes, you want to give them everything. No, good words. Um, Another famous definition of love is when you care more about another person than you care about yourself. Well, this could be a good a good definition. So Mencha wants to know the difference between talk and speak. Okay. Talk is talk, okay, and speak is speak. So it's the same. There's no difference really between talk and speak. They're synonyms. You move your mouth and words come out, okay? But what's important is collocations. Which words go together with talk and speak? And this is the difference, okay? For example, you can speak the truth. Or you can speak in tongues. For example, speaking in tongues is when you're crazy and you're like, okay? But talk is with other, and you cannot say, talk the truth, okay? Well, it sounds strange, or talk in tongues, well, okay? But for example, you talk, talk to me, talk slowly, okay? Oops. They are not fantastic examples, okay? But what I'm trying to show you is that it depends on the words you're using with talk and speak, okay? Okay. Let's have another look. We only have 5 minutes. Okay. Um, well, okay. Sorry, I'm just reading some questions and thinking. I'm because the older I get, the more time I need to think. Sometimes sometimes I'm thinking for minutes, and my wife says, Christian, are you okay? Are you dead? What's wrong with you? I'm just thinking. I'm I'm a very slow thinker. Okay. So yes. So I only have time to answer one final question. Um, but Aline, tell me, because you say that you're cooking and watching this class. What are you cooking? Because you're in Brazil. Are you cooking like arepas, or are you cooking, I don't know, Brazilian, like rodillos, or what are you cooking? Tell me. Okay. Okay. The final question would be, Luis wants to know, why do you say go to school, but you say go to the cinema? It's a great question. Oops, cinema. Okay, so great question. Why here do we have the article? And here, no. The reason is that when we say go to school, we are really not talking about the place. We are not talking about the building and the car park and the playground and the chairs and the desks. We are not talking about a physical place. We are talking about school, okay? School is a concept. It's a place where you learn. It's a place for education. But it's an idea, the idea of school. School comes from the Greek word skole, which means leisure, to relax, to have fun. Because, in the past, school was fun. School was something amazing and entertaining, and learning was something very special. Because, in ancient Greece, times were different. You would die when you were 35 years old. Sometimes you had to go to war and die on the battlefield. People had sometimes no food, no money, no clothes, no shelter. So school, the concept of school, the idea of learning something was incredible. And that's why here we are talking about a concept, an idea. And when we talk about concepts and ideas, we don't use an article. But the cinema is a place, a specific place. So we are going to the cinema. But if you wanted to talk about the category of cinema, the world of cinema, you don't use an article. For example, I love French cinema. Here, cinema is not a place, okay? It's not a specific place. We are talking about the art of cinema, all parts of cinema, the concept of cinema. So here, we don't use an article, okay? So in this way, you can experiment with your articles, and you can add them or remove them to make a difference. For example, if I say to you, at 12 o'clock, I will meet you at the school. Yes, I will meet you at the school because I want to meet you at a specific place, a real physical place, not the magical, mythical Greek world of learning. Okay. It's now 2 o'clock and I must go and prepare for the afternoon. I'm sorry that I didn't have time to answer all of your questions. This afternoon I will read all of your comments and I'm sure that I will laugh a lot. But listen, thank you very much for watching. I have some new videos planned that I'm really excited about. And yes, hopefully Canguro English can continue to grow in the future. On the 1st of April, it's my 2-year anniversary on YouTube. So yeah, two years of teaching. It's been good and bad. It's been difficult and frustrating, but also incredible. And I have learnt a lot in 2 years. And I am definitely a better teacher, thanks to you and your questions. So yes, thank you very much for watching. I'm Christian. This is Canguro English. I'll see you in class. Bye. Bye 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 bye.